I've been waiting for this for a while to talk about It Chapter 2. Let's begin! It Chapter 2, directed by Andres Muschietti and stars James McAvoy and all these other actors. I don't really know them like that, but I do know James McAvoy because, I mean, come on, he's James McAvoy. Like, come on, how you don't know him? Like, if you don't, why? That starts off 27 years later, where the Losers Club, they become adults, and they all reunite, and they get a call from Mike, come together, and they go against Pennywise, aka the clown that has haunted them 27 years ago. And now they're coming back to get this guy once and for all. When I first saw the trailer, I was, of course, really interested in seeing it. This was kind of very anticipating to me. Like, I really wanted to see this. When it came out, the theater was incredibly packed. I didn't see it the day it came out. I saw it on a Monday, so it came out September 6th. So I saw it a couple of days later on Monday night with my homie. And then we saw it, and after that, after I saw the movie, I came home, took some notes, studied a little bit about it, had little thoughts about It Chapter 2, and I must say, It Chapter 2, It Chapter 2, it gives me a little bit of a mixed feeling because I can't really say it was terrible or great. I would say that overall, It Chapter 2, it's not disappointing. It's just a bit frustrating. I would say that if you're an average horror fan that just wants to see Pennywise kill people and entertain you, you're going to be totally happy. And with his killing scenes, holy crap, it's crazy. You'll be pumped. Now, personally for me, I was very pumped, not only by the fact that I loved it, but also because I am a huge die-hard horror fan. Like, I love horror. I love slasher. I love ghosts, zombies, psychological. I love all of that. For me, as a movie buff and a movie lover and a horror movie lover, definitely, because I love horror. Like, I love horror. I was confused, bewildered, because there was just a lot of things that was good in the movie, and there were just some choices that were not good in the movie. But let's talk about the characters and Pennywise. The Losers Club, they haven't changed. They haven't changed a bit. They are still them. They were just still like how they were when they were kids. I love the Losers Club. I've always cared for them since the first one. In the first one, they were just It Chapter 1. Man, that one was so good. And Pennywise is still Pennywise. He is still comedic. He's hilarious. He is scary. He is everything all into one. I think he's probably one of my top 5 favorite scary movie killers. He's still him. I do love the characters and the actors, the way how they portray each of these peeps from the first one. And I love how Bill portrays as Pennywise. He's flawless. They are both flawless. They all are. They are flawless. And let me get to my negatives here, because the movie, the story, I think the story is potentially a great idea. My issue is I feel like there were just some things that wasn't necessarily to be added. Like, they could have done something different. Like, in the beginning, for example, there'll be 2 guys getting jumped. One of them gets attacked by Pennywise. I just felt like that was just thrown. Like, let's just start off with 2 guys kissing and they get jumped by some teenagers and throw one of them over the lake. I thought that was a little bit over extreme. I thought they could have done something different. It's like they just threw it in there and just said, all right, let's just do that. From my perspective, low key, I didn't even know the characters, and I found myself very caring for those couples. Like, they're literally minding their business, and why would they do this? That's so fucked. But, and the thing about It Chapter 2 compared from the first one is that It Chapter 2 is, the pacing is a bit slower. It's just taking time to develop their characters since they're adults now. So, due by that, from 27 years later, it takes a while in time with all of these flashbacks that keep occurring every once in a while. And it does, in my opinion, it gets a bit tiring after that because we already know what happens from the first one. We've seen all of it. We've seen it. So there's no need for them to add flashbacks since they were kids because we've seen it. Despite It 2, they have shown flashbacks from It 1, but even though It 2, it does show them flashbacks, but it's the flashbacks of them as kids that we haven't seen. But I just thought they could have just took that out because we already know. It should just be necessarily and precisely focus on them as adults. There should be no more of the kid flashbacks. It should be just them as adults. I was just frustrated because they were just showing just too much flashbacks. It should have just been about them as adults. I don't want to see them as just flashbacks when they were kids and them doing things that they've done before. There was no need for them to show, like the clubhouse, for example. There was no need for them to show us that. The 2 should be a continuation of them as adults and what they are doing. And yes, it does show us that, but it doesn't show us as much as they were supposed to. It Chapter 1 showed us pretty much everything. So It Chapter 2 shouldn't really show any flashbacks at all. They could every once in a while to find clues from the past, but I just thought that there should be any flashbacks, which caused the movie to be pretty slow and kind of unfocused. I have to say that It Chapter 2 was alright. It was alright. It wasn't the best. I would say it is alright, but it is not as good as the first one. In my opinion, as I come to change, I would say that It Chapter 2 is alright, but it's not as good as the first one. It's unfocused, and it has a bit too much flashbacks, and those were the only cons I pretty much had. Some people would say I love it, some people would say I do not love it. I'm like in the middle. I don't think it's disappointing, I don't think it's terrible. A lot of people have already said, you know, when the movie came out, a lot of my friends, they've seen it, and they came out of the theater, and I would say, how is the movie? And it's pretty controversial. Some would say It 2 is better than It 1. Some people may say It 2 is not as good as It 1. I saw it for myself, and in my opinion, I would say that It 2 is just as good as the first one, but it's slower than the first one. The first one is more than the second one. But overall, I would say this movie, it's okay. It is very good. I just think it's just frustrating, but it's good. And that's all. I'm going to give It Chapter 2 an 8 out of 10. I just thought that this should have been a lot more of them. Excuse me. Excuse me. I just thought it should have been a lot more of the Losers Club as adults than kids. Thank you guys so much. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, and tell me your thoughts on It Chapter 2. And yeah, later.